For those having the same problem as me, the simple fix is to type in the code destroy all beehives, one word, as shown on screen, and once entered, next enter destroy wild dinos. Literally, that's what I did after having no bees or queen spawns on both Ragnarok and the island, and it worked on both. Not all hives do have bees and queens in though, so if you only attacked between 1 and 5, get back out there and try some more. But if like me you have destroyed every single one in sight and still nothing, this fixes it like a charm. But make sure that you tame any creatures that you wanted, as this will wipe every wild dino on the map. So if you know of a level 150 Rex, tame that before doing it. However, now that you've liked and subscribed, let's get into this episode. After doing this little trick and leaving it a little, I got Blake with me, picked up some rare flowers, and flew away on the back of Opal to find some newly spawned hives. But on the way there, I realised I was still wearing flak, so quickly headed back on over to craft up and wear some ghillie to hide me from any possible bees that we may find. Eventually, we came across a hive, but like before, this gave nothing, so I was, at the time, wondering if my plan had actually worked. Spying another, I sent over my Dimorphodon, but pretty soon, he came flapping straight back with bees on his tail. But as happy as I was that I had finally found bees, I was curious as to why my Dimorphodon came back and didn't continue to attack. Without questioning too much however, I flew in Opal, off and on taking a couple of hits as they knocked me off. But luckily, they didn't hit too hard, so I was able to get back on and carry on attacking for now. After a short while, the hive was destroyed, and just as I thought, the queen had dropped out, but was stuck inside another hive. So very carefully, I took them out and the queen was free, roaming around, and so I attempted to tame her. This was honestly pretty difficult. Trying to sneak up and feed her some flowers without bug repellent ended up with her sending her swarms after me over and over again, slowing me down and harming me. This did take much longer than expected, as she was so easily spooked, but eventually I had managed to sneak up close enough and collect my first beehive. This was a long time coming, and actually getting one was a huge sigh of relief so that I could actually complete my farm. However, if you saw my greenhouse from the previous episode, you'll know that there's room for 2 hives in there, so I was still in the need of another. Looking around for more, I came across some and sent Blake back out to attack, as he was swarmed by more bees. We started to attack again, trying not to get stung and thrown off my mount until once again, the queen was freed and we could now try once again to endure the painful process of taming her up. Just like before though, this took so long, constantly getting spotted and stung, until finally, an Argentavis decided to attack, so we had to fight in the skies, but as we killed it, I had lost the queen. Looking all over and finding nothing, so presuming the Argentavis had hit her, I proceeded to try and find more hives, finally hoping to tame my second queen bee. We found more hives, but my luck with these was not so great, as some hives housed nothing, and others had the queens getting stuck once again, but whilst trying to remove them, somehow I was hitting them and they died. However, whilst trying to find any more hives, I saw it. As I flew over, the queen from before was still flying around, so back we went trying to tame her up once again, after we took on the scorpions from the area. And after a few more failed attempts, we finally tamed her, and I could put bees to the back of my mind, as I had both hives that I needed and wasn't interested in getting any more for now. Before getting back home, I stole more wood from the beavers. However, in doing so, I got stuck as they attacked and hit hard, before finally making it back onto Opal with just 2 health. But I didn't notice the nearby vulture until it finished me off, and I realised that I had no bed at the new base, so spawned on the beach and had to run all the way back, dodging and avoiding everything that I could, until finally, somehow making it back to retrieve Opal and Blake and all my gear, getting back home, fixing up my armor, and changing back to the flak. To really finish off the new greenhouse, I now set up the irrigation pipes, laying down possibly the greatest pipe work I have ever done, at least inside, watering my plots with the grimy swamp water before laying down the fertilizer, picking up the eggs from my breeding dinos, and gathering some seeds on the back of moss chops, before finally planting down the vegetables, gathering more thatch and poop for fertilizer, and placing down my new beehives, finishing off the greenhouse, as all that was left to do now was to gather whatever I needed once it was all fruiting. Happy with my newly complete greenhouse and the fact that I now had hives, I finished collecting more eggs whilst moving everything around with my storage before calling it a day on the ever-growing complex we had. But if you'd like to see more of me inside of ARK, be sure to catch up on the previous episodes or my live streams,